So I want to welcome you again for the recording to the November meeting of the Northern Worcester County Landlord Association. My name is Brian Lucier. I'm the Regional Property Manager of Belaire Property Management, and I've got a three-part series for you tonight. But first, I want to pray and hope this works. There we go. Happy Veterans Day. If you are a veteran, we want to thank you very much for your service and your sacrifice. If you know someone who does not stand behind our military while they do their job, then please ask them to stand in front of our military while they do their job. I'll let you figure that one out. So legal disclaimer, I'm sure you can read that really well. Pretty much it says, I'm not an attorney. I don't play one on TV. None of the advice I'm giving you is legal advice. Investing is risky. Always figure out what you're trying to do before you follow somebody else to a minefield. And here's what we have tonight. We're going to start with maintenance systems. I have a professional system that we can walk you through, and then I have a free system that you'll be able to download and set up yourself. Then we're going to look at what happened for the trailing 12 months in the rental market. We are going to look at Leominster, Fitchburg, and Gardner, which is the majority of our members who own properties. And then we're going to look at minding your own business. Where has the market been and where do we think it might be headed? I am going to try to get all the way through the first segment here before we start taking questions, because I do want to make sure we have enough time to get through tonight. Is that okay? Yeah. All right, thank you both. Okay, so maintenance systems. As you've heard, Mark Burrell and Housing Court, when they come in, documentation is key to your success. If somebody says, come fix something, and you say you fixed it, and there's nothing to prove it, that could be an issue. So you can shout out now. How do you track your maintenance calls? What are some of the systems you use? Paper and pencil. Write it down. Anybody else? You date it. What other systems are you using to track your maintenance? Texts. Debbie, what do you got? Huh? Buildium, professional software. Okay, we have a lot of shy people in the room, so we're just going to jump right in. Before we used professional software, I would get texts, I would get emails, I would get phone calls, I would get little post-it note letters enclosed in the rents. And then while I was walking through the property, someone would pop their head out of the unit and say, hey, I got to show you something. And I'm sure you can all resonate with that. I'm sure that's happened to you. Never. Okay, so what are the risks if you do not have a system to track all of your stuff? Well, the first problem you could have is not having the proper documentation on file later down the road if you needed it. You may not get the details right. I've had plumbers actually show up at the wrong property, knocking on the wrong door on the wrong unit. So getting all those details straight. After the job is done, not being able to find the work order for your taxes, and then worse comes to worse, if you end up before a judge, if you have a nice, clean paper trail all lined up, you'll be able to explain when it came in, you'll have the documentation, you'll have the pictures, you'll have a really clean shot, being able to prove that you responded and that the resident would have little or less of a defense against saying that you'd never made the repair. So in a normal workflow, here are some of the things that you should consider if you are working on your maintenance workflow or if you already have one. First is to record the issue, whether it be on a piece of paper, a Google spreadsheet, Excel, or some other documentation. Create a system that you always go to, so anytime you do have to check back, you know where you are. Okay, so make sure you have an organized way to track any incoming maintenance requests, and then you can take it from there, plan an action, and prioritize what needs to be done. Can you turn it focus? Second, once you have this recorded maintenance call, we try at Belaire to actually reach out to the resident, and we will BCC the landlord as well to respond. We've gotten your request. We know that XYZ needs repair, and at the same time we're explaining all this to the resident, we'll BCC an email to the landlord. So if they have a budget limit or something like that, they'll know what's coming up, so they won't have any surprises in their monthly statement. So once you get the work order and you acknowledge what the issue is, like it might be, hey, my cabinet's a little loose, or sometimes the window sticks, that's probably not going to have priority in the winter over a no heat call or a frozen pipe. So in the respond, you're actually able to let the tenant know we've heard you, we understand what the issue is, and the next step, we're going to schedule it. If you're not the one that actually does your repair and you're going to call a butcher, baker, candlestick maker, plumber, electrician, you can let the resident know that we're going to call plumber X and we're going to give them your number so they can reach out to you to schedule the best time to make the repair. So we've recorded it, we've let them know, we've scheduled it with the correct maintenance person, and then the repair is going to get done. With smartphones, it's a really good idea these days. Before you make the repair, or actually you could have the resident send you pictures of the issue. It might be a Simmons valve, it might be a Moen valve, you're not really sure. So getting a couple before pictures always helps. And then after the job is done, take some after pictures. So that way, if your tenant or the landlord, or later you need to document that the job was done, you have the before and after pictures, and all these can be uploaded into your database or however it is that you track your stuff. After everything's done, it's a good idea to call back in a couple days. Hey, we went out there to fix the heat. Is everything working okay? If it's not, now you know, and you can go back out and take care of the issue. Or if everything's all set, the tenant will really appreciate, first, that you came out and fixed whatever it was, and second, that you followed up. And it really builds the relationship when you reach back out to the resident and they know that, what do they say? They don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So a quick note, this probably should be done in person over the phone so you can talk to them, just find out if everything's okay, and then ask, is there anything else that we need to know? And then once that's done, you can close it out and repeat the process over and over again. You can fine tune and develop your system. If you learn things along the way, this is a pretty good outline that we follow. It keeps us accountable all the way through, and we have really great documentation to back all this stuff up. So professional versus free. So I'm going to show you, Deb uses Buildium, we use Appfolio. They are professional property management software. They have different bells and whistles, different things they can do. And we're going to do a little demo to just show you how a work order works on our system, what we do, how we see it, some of the things we can do. And then I'm going to show you a free app that you can download right on your computer, and you can set up your own. You can set it up however you want. I'll show you one way that you can do it, and this would be for free, and it'll give you one place that you can keep all your records for your maintenance. So we're going to do a demo on Appfolio. So I'm going to stop sharing this screen and then jump over. I'll share again, and this time we'll jump to Appfolio. Okay, so this is the dashboard that we use for Appfolio. Yeah.
The chat said they're hearing double. Can they still hear us online?
Can you hear us online?
Yes.
Can you see that? I have to go back. Okay, you can see the chat. All right, I'm going to proceed, and hopefully this will come out well on the recording. What's up for notification and accept? You'd probably have to use an email. What we're going to do when I finish this section, we'll go through the chats and I'll address the questions. So we've got all these different features that we can do here. I'm going to just jump right into our maintenance. Actually, before I do that, I can scroll down here and you can actually see our maintenance. So we have 30 open work orders. That's probably, I'd say 12% of our units right now. 43 of those have been assigned to other vendors. These are actually some of the closeout statements as well. We're getting ready to close out the month. We've got 19 that have been completed that need to be billed. One's waiting and another one's scheduled. So let's go in and take a look at what's due. And here we go. So these are some of the addresses. We've got, let's see, this one came in today. Let's see what they say. Can we rake the leaves? And there's poop in the front of the house. I swear I did not do that, but we can definitely get someone to rake the leaves. Resident notified, the Board of Health. Yeah, we're all on top of that. So any one of these, let's go in and take a look at this one. So in our system, when a resident goes on their phone, they can text in whatever the issue is. They can upload pictures. We've got this nice little tab here. It'll tell us the property, the owner, the residence information. I'll just close that back up. So from there, we have options that we can notify the resident. Oops, there we go. We can enter estimates. If we had the lawn guy come by, we can enter that. We can notify the owner and actually send them the work order. Some of our owners in their contract with us set the dollar limit for a given repair. There's one right there. So the dollar limit on this account is $250. Anything that's going to be over that, we need approval from the owner. We can notify the tenant, we can schedule it, we can close the job, create a bill, any other types of things we can do there. We can go in and edit it and assign this to a vendor. I'm not going to do that right now, but this is actually live right on our website. So this is one way that you could go about and set up maintenance calls. Again, Deb uses Buildium. There's all kinds of other property management software out there. When should you cross over and start using property management software? I think the point in your mind when you decide that you're going to do this for real, possibly add to your portfolio. If you're going to get up over 10 or 12 units, that might be a really good time to start thinking about the transition into professional software. You can do a comparison. We did ours years ago. There's Yardi, Buildium, Appfolio, Rent Manager. They all have a learning curve. They all have a lot of setup to onboard. So you might want to wait, or you might want to jump in on that before you wait until you have 40 or 50 units. That's going to be a lot more work to put that in your database. Whereas if you're crossing the line at 10 or 12, that might be a really good time to get into a professional software, get it set up, learn how to use it, so it won't be so overwhelming. Okay, let's stop sharing this and go over to our next screen. We'll share it again, and this time we want Slack. So Slack is a free software. We actually use it at Belaire to communicate with our team. We can create a whole bunch of different channels. I'll just give you the overview right now. You can call out threads, different people, add users and groups. So you could create a user group that could be building number 1, and then another group which would be building number 2, and then within those manage your separate units. Okay, so I'm going to peel back the curtain just a little bit here. Actually, I'll show you this again. So we have hooked up Slack to some of the apps that we use in the office, Google Calendar and Google Drive. So if we put notes in Google Calendar, it'll show up here in Slack, so we can share this with the whole team. Same thing with Google Drive. If we've just created a lease and it's backed up in Google Drive, we can send it over to Stacy and she can work on all that. And you could add other apps. There might be some other stuff you use like Dropbox or some of the other free applications and stuff out there. So I'm gonna show you our channels right now, and we've built a whole bunch of different channels. So yeah, we're getting near the end of the month, so we've got our monthly closeout. I'm not going to open that up because there might be some stuff in there we don't really want to share with the whole world. But what I did have, what I've created here for this demo, I created 2 different properties, and I'll take these off so our team tomorrow morning won't be wondering what these properties are. It's like, we don't manage those properties. What are those? So I'll just click on this one here. This is 100 Maple Street. This is just something that I put together. So here in 100 Maple Street, if I right click that, let's see, I want to open the channel details and I can add people to this, right? So what you would do is you would send your tenants an invite into Slack, a phone number and an email would get them in. So I'm going to add Stacy to this group. So Stacy, let's add her. So there, she's one of my tenants in this building. And let's add John into this group as well. Mr. Schultz. Oh, yeah, no, we don't want to message him. We don't want to call him. Get out of that. I want to add him. Okay. Okay, so now if I go under this group, so here I have, let's go back this way. There. So now in this building, let's say it's a duplex. So John lives on one side, Stacy lives on the other side. So snowplow guy's coming around. That's going to be coming soon enough. I could send both of them, let them know snowplow guy in 20 minutes. Oh, that's trying to add a person. Let's get out of that. So I can come back over here to the channel. This is a test. And then both of those folks will get that message. So they're going to be scratching their head, wondering what's going on and why 100 Maple Street has signed them up. So this would be nice for the entire property. If there's a notice that you need to send everyone at the same time, or hey, we're going to be shutting down the water because we have to do a major plumbing repair or something like that. And now it's all tracked. You've got one place that you've got all this data, all this information. Now we're going to jump over to 123 Main Street. And I want to clean this up as I go here. So, okay, so we just sold 100 Maple Street. This can all go away. I'm going to leave that channel, and then it's gone out of my channels. Okay, so now we're looking at 123 Main Street. Let's go in there again, and let's add people to this property. And this time, let's add Matt. Oh, Matt's not there anymore. Let's add Hanju. Okay, so Hanju lives here. She's very, very difficult tenant. She makes a lot of maintenance requests, very picky. She wants to play. Oh, you can hear me? Oh, yeah, that's my wife. So let's add her. So there she is. So let's say that this is, no, we got to add another person, okay? So we'll add one more person. Let's see who we got. Okay, we'll add Brian Lee to this one as well. Okay. So let's see, Hanju and Brian live in the same unit, and Cindy lives in another unit. So we'll add Cindy. So now when I come over to this channel, and I want to look at all the data on it. I can open the channel, see the, now I've got 4 people in here. So now again, I want to let them know snowplow is on the way. Oh, yeah, right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't drive and think at the same time. Okay, so that part's done. They're all added in. I have to go into the main message here. So, snowplow coming in 20 minutes. There. Now they know, actually, we'll ask them politely, please clean off. Okay. So bam, now we have a record. So if anybody says, well, gee, I didn't know the plow was coming, you know, I didn't move my car, and now we have a record at 7:43 p.m. We let them know that probably around 3 minutes past 8 that the plow would be there, and they had 20 minutes to clean off their cars. And you can use that. This would be for the whole building if you need to do that. Now let's go over to unit 1 for that building. And here we'll add Brian and Hanju because they live in that unit together. So we'll add Brian to that unit, and then we'll add Hanju to that unit. And now we have a nice, unique channel for just that one unit. And both of them are going to get this message. And if I could spell tomorrow. So now they'll both get that message. It'll be on their phone, their computer, and we have a record of it. Or we could tell them that we are coming tomorrow at 10 a.m. because that's one of the big issues, right? You knock on the door, oh, I didn't get the message. I didn't know you were coming. Tina? It's directly in Slack, so they'd have to have the app on their phone. And you could just tell them that this is a real simple way that they can make maintenance requests and hold us accountable that we're getting all those maintenance requests. This is free. This is a standalone app that you can download. It's not part of Google, but it will integrate with Google and all kinds of different apps that you can add to it. So your calendar can be synced to this. So it's a nice little thing. So let's say at 123 Main Street, that was a duplex. So you'd create one channel for 123 Main Street, which would be a blanket for everybody. And then you could isolate the separate units. I think we have Cindy that is living in unit number 2. So we can add Cindy to unit number 2. Okay, so now we are all set up. If I need to communicate directly with my residents, I can do it by building, or I could do it by unit. Does that make sense? Anyone have any questions on that so far?
If you leave the channel, does it still exist for the other people that are in it?
That's a good question. Cindy, do you have your phone? Do you have the phone that's hooked up to Slack? How about if I, yep. Okay. So I guess that's the answer. So let's see if we can get rid of these. Leave channel, mute channel. Okay, I'm gonna leave this channel. I can leave this channel, and I can leave this channel. So that's a free solution that you can download and use to track some of your stuff. And again, if you're working with a team of contractors, you could set up your contractors to use this as well, saying you're doing a rehab job at 123 Main Street. You call it 123 Main Rehab. and add your plumber, your electrician, anybody else that needs to be in there. I think we just got a message. Slack, S-L-A-C-K. That's it? Yep, that's it. Okay, so let's jump back and get on with our presentation. Nice mask, Mr. Babbitt. Okay, we're going to share the screen again, get back to our presentation. And there we are, back where we left off. So we did the Appfolio maintenance demo. So some of the highlights on Appfolio. There is a barrier to entry. You need at least 50 units to even qualify to use this software. Buildium, I think, how many, is there a limit, Deb, on how many units for Buildium to get in? Yeah, so if you're building your portfolio, Buildium is a great choice. If you're set to scale, and we're actually trying to add a 0 on that to get up to 500 units. So that's one of the reasons we took Appfolio, because we wanted something that would scale. Basically, right now, the base price and then average per unit is about $2. So this is a little bit more pricey of a solution. It gives us all the bells and whistles. We're not even scratching the surface of everything that we can do with this. It's definitely a scalable solution. Unlimited number of users. So as we add more employees, we can assign different roles. So the admin folks see their side of the software. The accounting people see their side of it. The maintenance people see their side of it. And then the managers can kind of overview and see what everyone's doing. So Slack, that's actually the logo for it right there. We just saw that little demo. And it's a free download software, which is great. You can create an unlimited number of channels, but as you do start to use up more space, I think there's a threshold where eventually you may need to pay for it. But if you're managing up to 50 units, I don't think that would be a big issue. You should be okay. You can create channels for each property. You can add users to each channel. Again, not just for property, but you can use it for your business. You can use it for a nonprofit. You can use it for your rehabs, and you can create little clusters of channels for all the things that you want to document. And yes, you can upload pictures. You can add documents there. Something that's really cool on our channel, we have a training center where when we see a really good blog post or some video or something like that that we want to share with the team, we can put that in there. Unlimited number of users and easy to invite users to the platform.